Hi everyone, I'm Gayle. Welcome to this practice where we're going to be doing a lot of twists in our upper body and our lower body through our core. We're going to do twisting movements, twisting transitions, and I just want to remind you to have fun with this. You're going to have to really focus and pay attention to your balance and where you're engaging, where you're releasing and letting go. But just, yoga is a metaphor for life. So just like life has twists and turns and we don't always know where we're going, we can't always see around the next bend. It's kind of like that when you do this practice. Like sometimes it's like, well, which is my right side, which is my left side? But like I said, just remember to have fun, to go with the flow. You can practice this, do this practice more than once, and I think you're going to have a lot of fun. So let's start on our backs. Bring your hands to your belly and just let your body relax. Focus on your breath, moving in and out through the inhale and the exhale. And see if you can feel your back pressing into the earth as you inhale, as well as your chest lifting up toward the sky. So there's a big inner expansion. And as you exhale, see if you can feel like there's a yielding into the earth. So the inhale is kind of a big filling up the inside and a lift. And the exhale is like a releasing, letting go, almost like a little bit of a flattening. Try and breathe in and out through your nose as much as you can. And we want to continue focusing on the breath as much as we can throughout the practice, just coming back to it whenever you maybe feel a little bit out of balance or whenever the thought just pops into your head about your breath. But ideally, we want to have the breath guiding our practice the whole time, whether we're consciously focusing on it or unconsciously focusing on it. So now cross your right knee above your left knee, and if you can, hook your right toes on the inside of your left ankle. If you can't, just hug the outer edges of the outer ankles together. And bring the left arm forward, wrap the right arm underneath so that we've eagle-eyed our arms and our legs, like a double twisting action. And then reach your fingers and your toes to the floor. And then exhale, pull your knees and your elbows together. And inhale, lower. Exhale, lift and touch. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift and touch. Inhale, lower. Exhale, crunch in. Inhale, spread out. Exhale, crunch and touch. Inhale, open. Exhale, touch. Inhale, open. One more. Exhale, touch. Inhale, open. Unravel your arms and legs and come on into happy baby. Just gently rock from side to side. And now we'll cross the left knee above the right knee. Hook your ankles or just press the outer ankles in. Bring the right elbow across, wrap the left arm underneath. And stretch out and tap your fingers and your toes to the floor. And exhale in and touch. Inhale, release. Exhale, touch. Inhale, release. Exhale, knees to elbows. Inhale, release. Exhale, touch again. Inhale, release. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. 3 more. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Last one. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. Unravel your arms and legs and come on into happy baby. Gently rock from side to side. And hold the back of your legs and use a little momentum. And we're just going to rock back and forth, trying to round your spine as much as possible. And then we'll rock up to seated and come on into a comfortable seat. Take your time to root down through your sit bones, relax your shoulders away from your ears, and think of a lift from your tailbone all the way up through the crown of your head. On your next inhale, sweep your arms up. And on your exhale, twist to your left, bringing your left hand behind you. And keep twisting all the way through your neck, through the crown of your head, with your eyes looking over your left shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist to the right. Continue twisting through your neck, looking over your right shoulder. Inhale back to center. Exhale, twist. This time, push your left knee down and lean back. You can even reach your left arm up. Think of lifting your chest toward the sky. Your knee is helping to hold you down. Inhale back to center. Twist to the other side. Same thing. Press down, lift up. Press down with your knee, lift up to your heart. And come back to center. And we'll just switch the leg that's in front. So again, twist to the left. Press the left knee down, open up your chest. And swing your left arm to the right. Press the right knee down, lean back, open up. And come back to center. Slide your right heel to the outside of your left hip. Try and plant down through the whole sole of your left foot. Sit up nice and tall and twist to the left. Bend your elbow. You can either bring your elbow to the inside of your knee or the outside. Try not to crank it with your arms, but instead go deep inside. Find that internal twist. Again, we'll look over your shoulder with your right eye. You inhale, twist to the right. Reach your right hand toward the corner of the mat. Straighten your left leg, your right leg, and reach your hips up and over. Good. Bend your knee as you lower down and twist to your left. Inhale through center, twist to the right. Stretch the right arm forward, stretch the right leg back. Lift your hips up. And bend your knee, lower down, and twist to the left. Twist back to the right. Reach forward with your right hand. Lift your hips up. Reach your left arm over your ear. And bend your knees, lower back down again. And twist to your left. This time, come back through center and just switch your legs. So twist to your right. And on your exhale, twist to the left. Reach your left arm towards the corner of your mat. Straighten your left leg. Reach your right arm up and over. And bend your knees, send your hips back, and twisting to the right. Inhale through center, exhale, twist to the left. Reach your left arm forward, straighten your left leg, and lift up nice and high through your hips. Reach from your left toes to your right fingertips. And as you lower down, bend your knees. Think of swinging your hips so that you can land with your foot near your thigh and twist to your right again. And twist to the left. Reach your left hand towards the corner of your mat. Press down, lift up. And come back to your seat. Unravel your legs. And let's come on into tabletop. And just take a moment in tabletop to kind of swish your hips from side to side. And walk your hands forward a little bit, walk your knees back, tuck your toes, and stretch your hips back towards your heels for an active child's pose. Let your forehead rest on the floor. Begin to activate your arms by pressing each finger pad into the ground and isometrically dragging your finger pads towards the center of your palm. Then press into your hands and your feet, lift up into downward facing dog. Inhale forward to plank. Exhale, back to down dog. A couple more times, just moving at your own pace. And then come forward into plank, and we're going to twist to the right, reaching your right arm up, then come back through center and reach your right arm across. Inhale back to center, twist to the right, reach your right arm up, and exhale, Reach your left arm across. One more time. Inhale, twist to the right. Come back through center, reach your right arm across to the left. Lower your right hand down. We'll do the same thing other side. So pivot on your feet, twisting to the left. Come back through center, reach your left arm across. Inhale back through center, pivot your feet, twist to the left, and reach across to the right. One last time. Open up and reach across. Come on back to downward facing dog. Press your hips back as far as you can to get a long reach from your fingertips through your hips and from your hips down to your toes. On your next inhale, sweep your right leg up. And on your exhale, pull your knee into your chest. Twist your right knee towards your left elbow. And stretch back. You really got to kind of squeeze your core. Keep the knee and the foot as high as you can. Aim high. Reach back. One more time. Exhale, hug in. Draw nice and tight and twist. To your left. Down dog splits. And back to downward facing dog. And take a little break here. You can come down and rest in child's pose if you like, just for a breath or two. And then come back into down dog if you're wearing child's pose. Inhale, reach the left leg up. Exhale, pull your knee into your chest. Keep your knee high, keep your foot high. Twist across and tap to the right. Stretch back, reach up high. And then exhale, hug in and reach across. Inhale, stretch back. Exhale, twist. Inhale, stretch back. Downward facing dog. And then we're gonna do like a twisted walk forward to our hands. So hike your right hip up and swing your right leg in front of your left, stepping forward a little bit. And hike your left hip up and swing your left foot across in front of the right. We're just going to walk forward towards the top of our mat, doing this like twisted walk. And come up onto your fingertips. And whichever foot is in front, so my left foot is in front, so left is crossed in front of the right, and start to turn your body to your right as you pivot around on your feet. Walk your hands forward, coming back into downward dog facing the opposite direction. And we'll do that walk again. So hike up your left hip, cross your left leg in front, and then the right crosses and the left crosses, and the right crosses, left crosses, right crosses, come up onto your fingertips, maybe step ahead one more time, and then we're going to walk our hands over to the right and let our legs follow. Coming back, facing the front of the mat. Walk your hands forward. Let's do that one more time. So, right crosses to the left crosses to the right. As you keep moving forward, your hips will get higher and higher. You may have to bend your knees a little bit more depending on your hamstring strength. And come up onto your fingertips for the last 2 steps. Start to walk your hands around and let your feet follow. Walk your hands forward and back into your down dog. Let's twist our way to our hands to a standing forward fold. Come up onto the fingertips. Maybe one more step and start to walk your hands around. Let your hips follow. Walk your hands forward. Coming back to downward facing dog. Now try and reach your heels for the ground. So if you need to step in with bringing your feet closer to your hands, do that. Doesn't matter how long or short your stance is. You may have slightly bended knees, that's totally fine. And shift your weight into your left hand, reach your right hand across to either your left heel or your left calf or even your left thigh. So a nice twisted down dog. And we'll do the same thing other side. So keep your hips moving back. Press your hand down and forward, reach across, and twist. And come back to downward facing dog. Lower your knees to the floor. Just take a moment to sway your hips around. Maybe rotate your fingers towards your knees to stretch out your wrists. And just glide back and forth. And face your wrists forward again. But flip your hands so that you're on the top of your hands. And again, just gentle rocking back and forth. So a little movement can create a big sensation here. And flip your hands forward again. Stretch your right leg back and push into your right big toe mound, so much so that you could just barely hover your left knee, your left toes off the floor. Notice how that forces you to engage your core. Keep that engagement, lower your knee back down, float your right leg up, and your left arm forward. Circle your wrist and your ankle. Now bend your right knee, keep your knee lifted, bring your knee in over to the left a little bit, and sweep your left arm behind you, find your right foot. Begin to kick your foot back and your chest forward. See if you can find a balanced action. So if you start to fall back, press your chest more forward. If you start to fall forward, press your chest, push your foot back a little bit, and see if you can lift your knee up. So if you get off balance, you might fall like that. No big deal. So it's kind of when you go towards your edge, that's when you're more likely to fall. And that's okay, you just kind of learn from that. Good, release. And come back into tabletop and sway your hips around. We'll do the same thing other side. So stretch the left leg back. Push into your big toe mound, hover your right knee, your right foot, just barely off the floor. So not way up here, just barely off the floor. Lower down, float your left leg up and your right arm forward. Circle your wrist and your ankle. And bend your left knee. Maybe bring your left leg over to the right a little bit. Swing your right arm behind you, find your foot. And kick back with your foot, kick forward with your chest. Start to reach your knee up. Good, and release. Come back into tabletop and just do a few cat-cows. And we'll do that again. So stretch the right leg back. Press down, hover your left leg off the floor and lower it down, reach your leg up. Bend your knee, reach your right arm forward. Swing your left arm all the way out to the side. So I meant lift your left arm if I said right arm. And begin to kick back as you stretch forward and try lifting up. Maybe you go a little higher this time, maybe not. Good, and release. Come back into tabletop. Just sway around a little bit from side to side. Stretch your left leg back. Hover your right leg off the floor and lower down. Float your leg up, bend your knee, reach your right arm forward. Swing your arm out to the side, reach back for your foot. Kick back through your foot, forward through your chest, lift up, nice and high. So it feels like a little bit of ecstasy, like it feels like really good to do this. Sense of freedom. And release. Come on back down. Again, sway your hips a little bit from side to side. Walk your knees back, tuck your toes, lift up into down dog. And reach your left arm up, but keep your hips back. Lower it down, reach your right arm forward. Keep your hips back, lower it down. So we're going to do something similar to what we just did. We're going to play with it anyway, see how it goes. So walk your feet forward until you can really plug your heels into the earth. You might have to bend your knees a little bit, but you want those heels down. Now lift your right leg up. Stack your hip.
and reach out through your toes. So you're pulling your weight back towards your left foot. Keep that. Square the hips again. Bend your knee. Bring your knee a little bit over to the left, and then see if you can come up onto your left fingertips, keeping the right knee lifted. Make sure that you stay grounded through your left heel. This is important. And then see if you can lift your left hand off the floor. Begin to bring it back behind you, reaching for your right foot. And start to, same thing we did before, start to kick your foot back. Energy in your chest is moving forward. Start to lift your knee up. Separate your heel from your hip. Focus on your breath. And just gradually taking your time to open up here. And slowly release your foot. Come on back down. So if you fell, I have fallen so many times doing this. Don't worry, just take some practice. And if you've done this before and it just felt really good, just enjoy the moment. So again, you want to have your heel rooted. If you're just balancing on the front of your foot, it's way harder. So ground down through your heel, reach the left leg up. Stack your hips, reach out through your toes. And square the hips again, bend your knee. So the reason I bring my knee over to the right is it makes it easier for my right hand to find my left foot. So I don't want my foot out to the left, I want it over to the right a little bit. And heel hugging in towards the hip. You start to shift your weight into your left hand. Come up onto your right fingertips. So I like to do this slowly. And start to reach back, find your foot. And then start to slowly see if you can balance the energy forward and back as you lift your knee up. Use your breath nice and smoothly. And slowly release back to downward facing dog. Bend your knees and rest in child's pose. So it always helps to try something more than once, because it's amazing what you learn in even just a couple of tries. Things that seemed really, really hard might still be hard, but only really hard instead of really, really hard. So let's try that again. You stretch your arms forward, tuck your toes, lift your hips up. Walk your feet in enough so that your heels can be down. Reach your right leg up, bend your knee, bring your knee and your foot over to the left and come up onto your left fingertips. Start to reach your left hand back, reaching for your right foot. And once you find that connection, start to press your foot away from your chest and your chest away from your foot. Start to gradually reach up, finding that balance point. And then release slowly, coming back to downward facing dog. So I don't know if you noticed all my wiggles and jiggles and almost falls there. So I had to go really slow, otherwise I would fall for sure. So just take your time. And let's play with the other side. So bring your left leg up, bend your knee, bring your leg across to the right a little bit, start to come up onto your right fingertips. Really engage your left hand. Start to walk your right hand back, reach back for your foot, and start to, once you find your foot, start to slowly kick it back. So there's a tendency to fall to the outside like I almost did. You see if you can start to lift up and find a sense of freedom. Working with the breath really, really, really helps me. And then relax. Release, sorry. Throw your leg down. Come on into child's pose. Just a couple of breaths here. And tuck your toes, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. And we'll do that crosswalk again. So cross your right foot in front of the left in front of the right, all the way up to your hands. Come up onto your fingertips, maybe one more cross, and then twist, start twisting, walking your hands around. Bring your feet together, bend your knees, come on into Utkatasana chair pose. Sinking the hips low. Come up onto your left toes and cross your left knee over the right. Maybe hook your toes, just like we did on our back. And bring the right elbow in, wrap the left arm underneath. Hands, palms can be together or back of the hands together. Now see if you can bend a little lower and maybe touch your elbows to your knees. And then straighten up a little bit. Exhale, lower down. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, lower to tap. Inhale, lift up. And then unwrap. Bringing your hands to the ground, sweeping your left leg up, and walk your hands forward into down dog splits. Lower your left leg down. We'll do that crosswalk to the back of our mat. Come up onto your fingertips, one more step. And start to rotate around so you're untwisting. Bring your feet together, lower your hips, Utkatasana chair pose. Lift your right heel up, cross your right knee over the left, maybe hook your toes. Bring your left elbow forward, wrap your right arm underneath. And sink down, bending your knees, maybe touch your elbows to your knees, and lift up again. Exhale, sink down to touch. Inhale, rise up. Exhale, sink down to touch. Inhale, rise up, unwrap your arms, stretch your right leg back, down dog splits. Lower your leg down and do that. Oh, whoops. Walk your hands forward, down dog. We'll do that twisty walk all the way forward. You just parallel your feet, sink your hips, Utkatasana, reach up. Straighten your legs, release your arms to your side. Now heel toe your feet apart. So your feet are a little wider than your hips. Bend your knees. Start with your hands together, fingers facing forward. And then we're going to bend our knees and twist to the right, looking over your right shoulder, reaching your left arm forward and up and right arm down and back. And bend your knees, come back to center, and switch sides. We're just going to find this little twisting action that goes from our feet all the way to the crown of our head. Just a couple more times, reaching and twisting. And one more time. Good, come back to center. Heel toe your feet in again and come into a forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you want to, let your head dangle. Bend your knees, come into a squat. Bring your right hand to your left ankle, reach your left arm over, and switch sides. Left hand to right ankle, reach your right arm across. And lower your hips down to the ground. Slowly lower onto your backs, hug your knees into your chest. Rock around on your hips.
Lower your feet to the ground. Lift and shift your hips over to the right. Straighten your left leg on the ground. Straighten your right leg up in the air. You can circle your ankle here. And take your left hand cross to the outside of your right foot or your ankle or your calf. Stretch your right arm out to the side. Take a breath here. And slowly start to bring your right leg across to the left. So you're going to roll onto the outer left leg and come onto the inner right foot. Nice and slow. You can always support your right foot on a pillow or a blanket if your leg won't reach all the way across. But think of twisting your upper body back to the right as your lower body is twisting to the left. Bend your left knee if you want, and see if you can grab your foot with your hand like we've been doing throughout this practice. And maybe think of a little external rotation of that right hip to create some space. That always feels good to me. So by that I mean think of tucking your right tailbone in a little bit to open the right inner thigh. It's very subtle, very small movement. And we'll just relax here. Just about 5 more breaths here. Nice and slow and easy breathing. If you want, you can turn your head to the right. Now, if you were holding your left foot, bend your right knee, pull your knees together as you come onto your back. Keep holding onto the outside edges of both feet if you are doing that, or the outer edges of your leg, and then pull down with your hands and press up with your feet. And just let everything relax. Now, a fun thing that I like to do is to pick the right leg up and lift the right arm so that you can bring your right foot underneath your right arm. Your feet are going to want to be together, but then see if you can pull them apart so that your arms are crossed, your upper arms are crossed. So now we're in a happy baby, but with our arms crossed. We'll stay here for just a few breaths. And if your right shoulder was lifted, so it was pulling your right arm in towards your face, you might want to just relax that right shoulder down, or think of bringing it down. Keep reaching your feet apart from each other, and keep reaching your sit bones, your tailbone, your sacrum towards the ground. And now just release everything. Lower your feet to the floor. Lift and shift your hips to the left. Straighten your right leg on the floor and your left leg up in the air. Take your right hand across to your left leg. Open your left arm out to the side. And very slowly, start to bring your left leg over to the right. So you roll onto the outside of your right leg, bringing your leg across, and twist your upper body back to the left. And maybe your head turns to the left as well. Now, if you can, bend your right knee, hold onto your right foot with your left hand. We're just going to relax here for about 5 or 8 breaths, giving our body a chance to unwind. Well, we're still wound up, we're still twisting, but to just relax and let go. Again, you could externally rotate that left hip a little bit to create a little more space. And notice how the sensations shift with each tiny little movement that you do. So the little things really do matter, whether it's an action in a yoga pose, or whether it's a thought, or whether it's a kind deed, or whether it's an unkind deed. So part of what yoga teaches us is awareness, mindfulness, and aiming for the higher good, aiming to be of service to others. And to do that, we need to be of service to ourselves. So that we just want to naturally be generous and open-minded. So now we're going to come onto our backs. So bend your left knee. We're going to roll onto our backs with our knees together. This time, the left knee is on top, holding onto the outside of your foot or your leg, and press down with your hands, press up with your feet. This is going to cause some muscle contraction, so some engagement, and then relax. Now I'm going to uncross the left leg. So I'm going to lift the left elbow up, dip the left knee underneath so that the feet uncross, the legs uncross, and the arms cross. So think of kicking the outside edge of your feet out to the side. Keep your sacrum down if you can. You can always walk your hands towards your knees. And just let yourself relax now. Just a few more breaths here. Now release your hands. Hold your feet. Straighten your legs if you can. Maybe flex your toes with your hands. Maybe pull your legs towards your chest. If that's easy for you. If it's not, just don't do it. So you might be coming a little bit into plow pose with your feet over your head. It does require pretty flexible hamstrings. And slowly lower your hips back down. Bend your knees, hug your knees into your chest. Give yourself a nice big hug. And slowly release. Stretch out for Savasana. And take a moment or two to just really stretch out your body. Make those little tiny adjustments, whether it's lifting your hips and stretching your tailbone towards your heels and then straighten your legs again, or wiggling your shoulders away from your hips. Not up towards your ears, it's really your whole back you want to lengthen. And you can rest your hands with your palms facing up, out to the sides. And focus on your exhale and letting go. So there's a nice breeze. I'm outside on my back deck. There's a nice breeze. Listening to the wind through the leaves. I find that actually a very peaceful sound. And just let everything completely relax and let go. I'm going to stay here for about a minute with you, but I invite you to stay longer. All that twisting is quite a workout on your abs and your core. So for me, after I've worked out a little harder, I can actually rest more deeply. So notice how this feels for you. Let your breath slow down. feel free to stay here a little longer. Otherwise, begin to bring some movement into your body. Maybe stretch your arms over your head. Maybe wiggle your fingers and your toes. Circle the ankles. And when you're ready, bend your knees and slowly roll onto your side. And just take a moment here. And slowly use your hands to press yourself back up to a comfortable seat. And let your sit bones settle into the earth. Keep that length through your spine, that inward lift, that inner brightness. Balance the energy of the inhale lifting you up and filling you up, and the exhale relaxing you down, emptying you out. Please bring your hands together in front of your heart. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me with this practice. I hope that you're feeling really good and maybe discovered a few places in your body that have been ignored. Please leave me a comment below and tell your friends, spread the word. I hope to see you again soon. Bye.